Health food shops are commonly perceived as being too costly. With the current economic recession, the cost of eating healthily comes at a price which many can't afford. But shops like Pea Wholefoods in Canterbury see eating ethically and healthily as a main priority.
Most people would understand ethical eating to be pretty much fair trade. So there's now an organisation which goes out to various countries and it tries to negotiate deals for the farmers and the growers out there so that they are guaranteed a minimum price for their crops. And from then on down, it means that the middlemen, the packers, the distributors, the wholesalers and the retailers like us take less of a cut from those products than they would from a non-fair trade organisation. So the idea is that you support particularly third world traders, try and make sure they have a living wage. You can eat very well if you basically have a diet of whole foods, for example. So if you base your diet around cereals, rices, beans, other pulses, other grains, you can actually eat quite reasonably well. For example, if you have porridge every morning, it's far cheaper than buying a packet of cornflakes or something. It's also much healthier. I mean, sort of unprocessed oats are going to be much better for you, for example, than a cornflake that's been toasted, filled with sugar, packaged in a big cardboard box, blah blah blah. The problem is people are used to eating food now that's ready prepared, easy to prepare, you chuck it in the microwave, things like that. All those things bulk the price up. But if you go back to basics with foods, you could, I mean, a vegetarian diet, for example, is still a very cheap one compared to a meat diet. Not that I'm suggesting everyone should be vegetarian, but if you are, you can eat very cheaply. Meat's expensive. The problem is, of course, now that basic grain crops are becoming more and more expensive, largely because of the emerging third world economies hanging on to more of their crops to feed their own people now, and also because of global warming and the effect that weather's having on crops. Big droughts in America ruining the corn crops, pushing the price of that up. Olive oil crops failing in Spain, which produces, I think, nearly half the world's olive oil. So all that has knock-on effects. So you're always at the mercy of these fluctuations. Big supermarkets and global companies can disguise the price increases by spreading them out over a wide range of things. It's harder for businesses like ours, where if something goes up, it just goes up, and people come in and they say, that's gone up a lot, something like that. So it can look more expensive than it is, but if you actually take the time to work your diet out and to have a system, then you can eat as well and as cheaply as doing it any other way.
One thing is for sure, people's eating habits are constantly changing. Could it be that once we are out of this gloomy recession, people will turn to whole food shops? I'm Katerina Lopez, reporting for Food Absence.